Hi, I'm Tim Marshall. Welcome to R&B Showcase. We got a great show for you today. We're going to have a party. But first of all, we want to introduce our co-host in the building, the one and only Mr. Julian Seward from 106.5 FM in Philadelphia. Julian.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Tell us about your show, Julian.
My show is My Bittersweet Philosophy. It comes on 3 to 5 on 106.5, and it's a little piece of my mind set to a playlist.
All right, that's my turntable brother right there. Also my co-host for the radio show and for the television show, Mr. Kevin White. He knows all the facts, the figures, the dates, the times, and the places. He's a music historian, Mr. Kevin White.
Thank you so much, Tim. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And we're excited about having this act in. They're in the studio. They're in the building. They're coming off a great performance in Philadelphia last night. On today's show, they are special guests, the R&B, funk, and soulful club recording artists with more than close to 5 decades of Billboard chart hits and recordings. And they've been performing for many years with us, but we're glad to have them here on the show. And they're also from Brooklyn, New York. And they are Golden Mike Award-winning recording artists. We're going to welcome to the show Dolores, Bonnie, and Denise, the ladies of Skyy. Welcome to the show. Where's the Skyzoos? Here comes Skyzoos.
That's right.
All right, that's Kyle Mack. That's Kyle Mack over there with them Skyzoos. Oh, there they go. There they go. I hear you.
Yes.
And I did want to mention that Kyle Mack is with us here today. He is in the background there. He's producing the show here today. But Kyle is from the #1 radio station in Philadelphia. He does production for that station. So give Kyle a round of applause. He's not on mic or camera today, but he's here, Kyle. All right. Thank you very much. But I'm excited about having the ladies here today. And, of course, their manager, Austin, is in the building. And thank you for being here. And they got some guests here with us. We got standing room only here for the legendary ladies of Skyy in the studio. Give them a round of applause one more time. Welcome the ladies to the show.
Shout out to James.
Yes.
Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to Ophelia.
Yes. We thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you. We're going to have a good time. We're just going to have a conversation. Isn't that guy too? And the chicken and everything else.
That's right. The rooster.
That's right. We're just going to have a party here today. And ladies, thank you for being here. I want to let you introduce yourself so they can see who you are and put the beautiful voices with the beautiful faces that are in the building here today. So.
All right. Well, we always start with the one that came first, right?
All right.
I am Denise, and I am the oldest of the Dunning sisters.
I am Dolores, and I am the middle sister.
And I'm Bonnie. I am the youngest sister, but I am the oldest sister.
That is correct.
So you figured that one out.
That's right. That's right. That is totally correct.
I hear you.
Because I'm the baby.
Well, welcome, ladies. And it's a pleasure having you here in the studio. It's been a long time coming. I think, we saw you last night. You did a performance in Philadelphia, right?
We did.
That was great.
At the Free Library.
Yes.
It was really nice.
You're
You know,
right.
what I think I loved the most, it was like really being in touch with the people in the community. That was you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the beautiful part about that. And people were having a good old time.
Yeah.
And we hadn't been here. Well, we came in Philly years ago as Skyy, and we were just so excited when we got the call to come in, and perform for you guys. It was it was electric in that room last night. It really was.
And the DJ got things rolling. People up in the aisles dancing.
Oh, yeah.
So they were ready. By the time y'all came, they were good and ready for you,
pumped.
Had them pumped up and ready, standing up and just throwing their hands up in the air and feeling that funk like Kevin White, the funk doctor over there. He loves that funk,
I'm with him.
Yep. I played a solo on the air, and Kevin's like, "No, gotta get some funk in there, right?"
That's right.
He's playing that funk, and he loves Skyy too. So he said, "You got to have them in here in the studio." So we got you here today, ladies, and again, thank you for being here. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how who inspired you to sing? You have these beautiful voices, this great harmony. How did this all come about?
It's, I think we always take it all the way back to going to school.
Okay.
We were very involved. We were at a high school in Brooklyn called FDR High School, and we were all members of chorus. So since junior high school, we've always been involved in singing and music.
Yeah.
And FDR in particular used to have a lot of talent shows. And so we would always perform in the talent show. There were 4 of us then. We would dial a ray. And that was sort of the start of it for us. And then when we graduated and we were doing things on our own. That's how we met Randy Muller, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But and one good point, it was that our mom and dad were big
Yes.
on music, and it was those Saturdays that we chore day,
Cleaning Saturday?
cleaning Saturdays,
Yes.
that they would get up, and my dad would get up and put those 33s on that Magnavox
Stereo.
hi-fi. Hi-fi.
The hi-fi. Yes, it was called hi-fi.
And, they would sing. They would like to sing, and we would sing, and we'd get in the mirror and sing. And so I think we actually came from just singing naturally,
Right.
Yeah, and an interesting point. My aunt, our Aunt Sadie, actually was very involved, and we didn't understand this at the time because we were really young. But she was very involved in the black opera culture of that time period. She knew a gentleman whose daughter. He was in charge of most of the publishing. He held the publishing for a lot of the spirituals. And who knew that there was such a deep black presence in opera?
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I have Miss Adelaide. Miss Adelaide was actually, I saw her when I was like 5 years old. I thought I was at Carnegie Hall,
Right.
but apparently I was at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. But anyway, that's where I got my first introduction as a child to performing on stage. And Miss Adelaide her father was very deeply involved and owned a lot of the publishing for a lot of the Negro spirituals.
Wow.
So my aunt was already kind of in that culture, and she's the one that got me my first M&E organ. And I'm saying we're taking it way back.
Right.
We've had it inherently in our family and through
For
genetics
years.
by our parents' love for music. Yeah.
And they had beautiful voices too.
Yeah, they did.
My mother would stand in the iron board and she would sing.
Sing.
Oh my goodness, I'd be just like mesmerized.
Now, were you inspired by many of the girl groups that were coming up, prior to your?
Well, of course.
Getting into
I
music.
mean, Dolores was Diana Ross at one point.
Tell me.
You throw your hands up in front of the other ladies like Diana Ross.
Yes, absolutely.
we have a picture somewhere, right? When Mommy made us
the white gowns.
Yeah, Mommy made it. My mother made our long gowns,
Right.
back when we were in junior high school, right? One
and
shoulder
that's-
off the shoulder.
That's the thing.
Matter of fact, I saw that
Dress,
picture the other day.
our dress was inspired by the female groups, but not our harmonies and our choreography.
Okay, tell us about it.
We were inspired by the male groups.
I can see that
Right.
with the choreography you do. Very temptation, like precision
That's right.
movement
We
type
were the
choreography. Then
Temptations,
the
the
sweat.
OJs,
Yeah.
the,
That's right.
the
Unifics,
Ford Stops, the
Delphonics, right. Those were the guys that we-
Delphonics,
Right.
all of those guys, those 60 groups, is what really inspired us.
That's when we stopped wearing dresses.
That's
on
when we,
stage.
at one point, we
decided
stopped
to
wearing
stop
the dresses.
Yeah, because we were in gowns all the
We-
time.
we-
And
yeah,
even
we
when
used to
did
be
the
coming
talent
up.
show in school,
Right.
we would have, my mother always made these beautiful gowns for us.
Right.
And once we decided that we
We wanted to move. We didn't want to
Limiting,
just.
yeah, the dress is
Yeah.
You
limiting.
can't
Yeah.
move in a dress. I mean, you can, but it's
But
not
it
gonna
wasn't
be-
not like we're moving.
You're not going to be able
Right.
to see
And you
it.
want,
So
exactly,
it's
because with a
not gonna
dress
be
on, it would
too
kind of cover up.
Exactly.
Right, the movement.
Yeah.
So you came up with your own choreography. Who does the steps? Is it one person in the group, or do you all come up with it? with that movements?
It's a conglomeration, but Bonnie kind of usually, starts it off, and then interestingly, in the late '80s, we started going to Alvin Ailey. Solomon thought it was smart for us to take body conditioning classes, right?
Pilates.
And then we
Oh,
took
I love
Pilates.
it.
Yeah, we took Pilates,
And
but we
jazz
also
hands.
took jazz classes, and we had a couple of choreographies that worked with us. T. Ross, right?
Okay.
Douglas Frazier. We had a guy named Shake.
Yeah, that's when we got started
Yes, we got
getting
into the
towards
90s.
He
Yeah.
had some of the more of the 90s,
Yeah.
moves. But oddly enough, they would look at what steps we had and would keep some of the steps
Yeah.
that we had and just add, and
add
just
the little
to it.
flare,
Right.
nice flares to,
Right.
to what we were
It
doing.
was natural
you
to
know
you,
what I mean?
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Solomon Roberts
Yes.
Jr. Tell us about who he is for the people that may not know
Oh, wow. Solomon Roberts is the head cloud. So Solomon was the guy who was lurking around as a photographer, posing as a photographer when we did the Miss Black America New York State pageant. And that's where we met Randy Muller initially. So we initially started working with Brass Construction as an opening act for Brass Construction. And then when they got their record deal, Randy says, well, hey, I want to, I'm going to turn you guys over to Solomon. Solomon has a band. We're like, Solomon has a band? All we ever seen this guy do is taking pictures,
And
That's
carrying drums.
And carrying drums,
Right, because
exactly.
he used to roadie.
He was roadie
them
for
too.
yeah. So Solomon Roberts ultimately wound up becoming the founding member, along with us, of Skyy. What ultimately became Skyy. So it was Solomon Roberts, Gerald LeBone, and Butch Sierra were the three core male members of the founding members of the band, and then us three.
It was Solomon's basement that was kind of like the epicenter for all the
It
that was going on for Brass Construction. And
hole in the ground, hole in the wall.
Hole in the ground, watch your head.
Solomon lived in East New York.
Get electrified by the microphones because nothing was grounded.
It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
It was a place to be, but it was a place where a lot of good music. There was like the base for the
core.
writing, right? For their writing, for rehearsals, and how nice. When I think back, his father is a pastor.
Okay.
And they were so accommodating to us, being down there in that basement. And we really appreciated that. But we also got a lot of little kids in the neighborhood, would spend a lot of time sitting down
Especially in
there,
the summer.
checking us out.
test things out on them.
Yeah, well, no, they just sit
Or just the audience.
No, we send them to the store for
Yeah.
soda. That's what we
Makes sense. Okay, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you see what I'm saying?
Julian.
You needed a runner.
We needed a runner.
Exactly.
But anyway, one of them grew up to be quite Solomon's cousin.
Yeah.
is now herself a very prolific artist, and her name is
she's
Anaya
independent,
Day.
yeah.
She is an amazing
Yeah,
voice.
we used to call her Jiffy. I was like,
Yes.
what? Jiffy's doing this?
Yeah.
She always had a magnificent voice, but she is an artist, an independent artist in her own right.
Oh, beautiful.
So, if that was I hope we had some influence on her in terms of, the direction she took in music. Yeah.
And you mentioned Randy Muller.
Yes.
Everything he did with BT Express.
Yes.
Brass
Yeah.
Construction.
And everybody.
He worked the Crown Heights Affair as well.
And
Crown
he
Heights.
got
Crown
us in-
Heights, that's right.
He got us in
Yeah.
the studio to do a lot of background vocals for people. We did background vocals for Charles Erlin.
Yeah, jazz.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie Early, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good music
We
there.
did,
Yeah.
we did
I knew you did that.
background-
That's
we
awesome.
did background vocals
yeah.
for Mark Radice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Raphael Cameron.
Raphael.
All of the most of the artists that
That's
Randy
right.
worked
Yeah.
with,
We did
we
background vocals,
wound up doing background.
He really, Randy, I can say, really introduced us to the life of studio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There was never a time that there wasn't we've even done a few like little background vocals on Brass Construction's records, but there was never a time that he didn't bring us into that studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He utilized what he knew we had, and we had to really be thankful for that, because then once we really started to go into the studio and record our own stuff, we kind of knew what to expect.
First of all, we learned to settle down, because
We
I'll never
learned to-
forget the first time we went in the studio.
were
We were
giddy.
so silly. Well, y'all seen that when we walked in here, right?
Right.
So
all
imagine
right.
that,
It's all good.
times 25. Okay. And they were like, ladies, you have to settle down, because we were used to singing choruses, but singing in a studio,
Totally different
you know what I
Totally
mean?
different.
It's a whole nother mindset. You got to go in there and you got to project that
wanted to
feeling.
know.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's singing is one thing, but like projecting it onto a recording,
Totally
you-
different.
yeah.
And we wanted to know why we could not pronounce the words.
Oh yeah, because we came from a more classical background
Right.
in school,
Right.
so all the INGs were pronounced at the
That's
end of
right.
every
Right.
word, right?
The T's were pronounced as the S's, and we're like,
But they didn't want that, right?
No, they want muddy it up, girls, muddy it up.
I heard it.
and we were like, what is
Let's
this
get some
muddy?
soul in here, Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, what is this muddy you talking about? We don't know
idea.
anything about, so it did take us a while to really get into not, pronouncing the words. We
Being
were like,
so
we don't like this,
proper.
Right.
that's not how we're used to, singing.
Yeah, because when you're singing the Hallelujah chorus,
And
That's right.
How dare you cut the word off? You know what I'm saying?
that is not going to work. Miss Lynn, our chorus teacher was not
Yeah.
going to have any of that.
That's right.
You couldn't bob your head.
Right,
It's,
right.
You had to sit on the edge of the seat and
Yes.
sing.
Well, that's good training, though, to have.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say definitely that is, I believe, what has preserved our voices to this day, because we learned how to sing properly, right? And I'm looking at a lot of the artists. People were giving poor Alicia Keys the blues, at the Super Bowl halftime performance, and I'm like, people don't understand what it takes to be a vocalist. You got an instrument, you can grab that thing, you can tune that thing, and pretty much, it may have some environmental effects, may have, a little bit of impact on it. But when it comes to the human voice, it's like it's an instrument like no other. And you can be tired, and I'm sure Alicia has been very busy. She wasn't just sitting around waiting for the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they need to cut people a break.
She might have had a show the night before or something,
She might have had a show 10 nights before.
That takes us
singing out in the elements and all that kind of stuff.
That's right. That was outdoors, and people don't understand all these things kind of affect, your delivery.
Yeah,
so
bugs and gnats flying
cut Alicia some slack. Leave my Alicia.
But that was a nice production they did though for the Super Bowl. It was good. It took them. They figured they'd have 15 minutes on stage to put all that production together, and this roller skate and the changing of the costumes and the singing and the band. I mean, it takes a lot to do that.
But
It's not,
I think a lot of those elements are already in Usher's Vegas show.
Okay.
I've heard some, what I'm saying, some talk
Right.
about, the type of show that he presents there. So it's just a matter of, but see, when you got a team of people, because you saw how many people it took to just bring the stages out and all that stuff.
Big
5 people, it's like 100-something people have to be, involved to put that thing together timely. Yeah.
The whole crew to put that together. It's a good thing.
But I thought the show was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Well, Dolores, I saw the Diana Ross picture. Austin was showing me the picture of Diana Ross.
One of many.
Yeah.
There's another picture of us.
It's the white picture.
I saw it the other day on my phone, and it's all of us dressed in white. And I think
wow.
I was.
Now you got to share that with our producer Kyle so we get that up on the screen.
Solomon took that
We got to.
Kyle, you got to get that up on the screen, buddy.
Solomon took
find
that
this
picture.
stuff.
I think it was Marley's that took
Yeah,
that.
we had another photographer named Marley.
That's when there was 4 of us.
Yeah.
Wasn't
And she had us swinging
She said-
back
he
and forth.
said
Our
4 of
dresses
you.
could move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they used to
Oh
be 4
yeah,
of us.
so
In
when
high
we first
school,
started singing,
it was 4 of
it
us.
was
Like the
4 of
Shirelles.
us.
Huh?
Yeah, it was 4 of us, and we had a schoolmate of ours,
Yeah,
Okay.
Deborah.
Deborah.
Her brothers had a band at one
And,
time too, and
Okay.
She was the
had
bass.
the lowest voice.
She was the bass.
Sounded like I sounded right about now
Yeah,
today.
she was.
Okay.
This is
Exactly.
like, wow.
But so I think that's what used to really throw people off, because it was 4 of us, and the harmonies, and she was also in chorus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the harmonies were just out of this world with the 4 of us, because like Denise, when she mentioned about us meeting Randy and Solomon at the Miss Black America pageant, state pageant in 1973,
Wow.
we auditioned with Temptations' Old Man River.
Oh wow.
Acapella.
Acapella.
Just like
Now who
that.
sang that part? The Melvin part.
Deborah.
Oh, she played. Okay.
Yeah.
She
Wow.
sang, and they were like,
Wow.
they really can
They were
sing.
kind of standing there with their mouths open. Because again, it's that choral influence
Yes.
that
Right.
helped us to be able to deliver that song.
Right.
Almost, the same way that you would hear the Temptations do it, except it was girls. And that's one of the things we kind of prided
Nice.
ourselves.
Yes.
Once again, we so heavily influenced by
By
male
the male
artists
artists.
and how they approach, their performances and stuff. So, we like that.
And a song like Old Man River would be right up you guys' street.
Yeah.
What you guys
Well,
do.
and that is the very reason why last night we did high acapella, because we want people to know that we can really sing. You know what I'm
It was
saying?
very. It was
What you
great.
heard on the record
Is
is
what you
really
is
hear.
what you really
What you
hear.
got,
Yeah,
right.
it was what you get.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You guys just sat down and just
Yeah, we
The
decided-
harmony.
laid it out.
You know what made us repeat that? We did that in Pittsburgh. When we had the show.
No,
there.
the first time we actually did it, we did it for Michael Black's thing.
For Michael Black's event. That is correct.
That
That is
was
correct.
September
So when we did, by
of-
the time we got around and did it in Pittsburgh, you know what we like about it? The intimacy with the audience.
Yes.
That's the point I'm just really trying to get
Right.
to. When you sit down and you just start,
Chit chat.
how y'all doing?
right.
We love having our audiences just see us as who we are raw. I mean, a lot of artists are up there and there's that image. The image is maintained A to Z. the image for us is just us. This is who we are, you know, and this is how we are. And so we try to let people in a little bit on, you know, on that.
And it gives us a
natural
break.
self.
Yo, yeah. I understand. But you know what was great about that part is I was watching you guys in the interplay between each other and just little looks you were giving each other, like, okay, you're going to do your thing now, right? And, okay, you can do your thing now.
Right.
And,
Well, it's kind of a freestyle thing. So,
but no, it was great.
It
You know, for
doesn't
me
have
sitting in the audience,
a
I was
set.
like, wow,
You
look
picked
at
up on that.
I could see you guys like communicating
cool.
with one another, and that was like really cool.
Yeah, but what I like is that you go out and you do your meet and greets, and you get to meet the people that are coming to see you. And that was very nice. You did that, you ladies.
It's funny. Last night there was a gentleman there that saw us when we were in Lagos, Nigeria.
Right.
And we've been there like three
times.
Yeah, 3 times. And there's not too many groups that have been there 3 times. When we did it, the first 2 times we were at the National Theater.
At Skyy, and then we went back as Ladies of Skyy.
And then we went back twice, right? As ladies of Skyy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It was, and for him to just like, I saw you in 80. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Now, speaking of Skyy, how'd you come up with the name Skyy and that spelling?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. We was as we saw that we were about to really blow up.
Yeah.
We were like, maybe we need to come up with with a
real
name. So we're sitting around. We got the dictionary open. We're just closing our eyes and
Yeah.
no, that's not gonna wart. No, we can't call ourselves the warts. No.
And then Tommy comes
None
up
of
with
that's
this
good.
brilliant idea.
Right. Tommy came up with
Yeah,
the
Tommy.
concept of Skyy. So Sal said Skyy. Sal's the one that came up with
said
Skyy. And then Sal's like, come on, let's put the extra Y in. And ultimately we came up with the sky is ever changing. It has different elements. It's cloudy, it's sunny, it's gray, it's tempestuous, you know, all these things. And our music,
Right.
Our
It's the
music
same-
would
same
reflect different
Those
varying kinds of moods and feelings. And then Tommy came up with the whole
This
concept
whole
of
big.
us coming from a planet called Yenzalia.
Well, that's who Tommy was.
and yes, that's right. Tommy, our drummer, who passed away
Right.
Last year.
in 2022. Tommy came up with. Tommy was always the
That's right.
space guy. That's right, the space guy.
He's yes.
But yeah, so he came up with us this concept of us being from the planet Yenzalia, and we came down to Earth to spread love, peace, and joy through music. Because there was some kind of war. I don't know.
Something's going on.
Something went on. I have it in my archive somewhere at the house, so I'll pull that out.
Well, I remember on those early albums, you always had that very futuristic look.
Yes,
that is
and all
correct.
that
Well,
kind
that
of
was
stuff,
back, you know, that was the age
That's when
back in the
Funk
funk.
and all that.
Everybody, that's right. Everybody was in,
In
their
costume.
costumes,
That was the
so to
70s
speak.
thing,
You know,
right.
that was the 70s.
Yeah.
And the stage performances had like lightsabers.
Yes, we had lightsabers.
Yeah.
We had them
course,
too.
yeah.
We had them
We
too.
had, so we had
Yeah,
everything.
we had the helmets, we had the lightsabers.
And then we realized with the helmets,
It was hot, and our hair was messed up. And our hair was messed up.
and we couldn't see.
Yeah.
Because we all wore glasses.
Oh, yeah.
So
And-
now
All right, that was pre-contact
that
lens.
was pre-contact lenses,
and there
so
were
none
no
of us could
cordless
see.
mics.
and cords, right?
No
only cords.
cordless mics.
There's no such thing.
So now we're going
right.
to knock our blocks off, or are we going to see? So we started. That's when we took the helmets off.
Toned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
Because you're doing the dancing with the microphones with the cords.
That's
you know?
right.
And these kids today couldn't do it.
Oh, forget it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was,
You know?
that was a feat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
So-
couldn't do
Corded mics and stuff like that.
Well, we did pretty well with them cords last night.
Yeah, you did.
because everybody said, "Oh, the courts." I was like, "We."
They've been
I
doing
don't care about the cords.
You know what bothers us the most? It's not
There's
not having a
tell me
cord.
what bothers
It's
us
those
the-
tripod
Microphone
mic stands.
stand.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
they can get in the way, I guess.
Pet peeve announcement.
We
Pet peeve announcement.
can stand
Those tripod
down.
bases.
The first thing we said, we asked Austin, "Do they have the right kind of mic stands?"
Right, the round bodies.
Because we
can't get
because of
Yeah.
the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And that's the only thing we did. The chords,
I can get around that.
we can get around the chords. It's those mic stands.
Yeah.
You were talking about the albums earlier. Every album has Sky something in a skyline, sky. How did that come?
Except
Was that a conscious
for-
effort to do that?
There's
The last
only one
album.
that didn't.
Right.
Right.
No, there's two because
Right.
it was Inner City.
Right.
That
And-
didn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
Sky.
Inner City was the
And the
last.
start of a romance.
Start of a romance.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Right.
once we moved away
Away
from
from-
South Soul, because our
Right.
first several albums were with South Soul Records,
Yeah.
and so it just made sense. Skyway, Skyport, Skyline, Sky Jammer. You know what I mean? It all made sense
Right.
because it just impressed in the minds of the public that this is another
Skyy.
You know what I mean?
Right, because there's
Skyy
another
release.
group in Europe, in England, called Skyy too.
Well, yeah, that's why in England we were New York.
Oh, really?
Skyy.
Oh, like
We're
the
New
Detroit
York
Spinners.
Skyy.
Like the Spinners, Detroit Spinners, yeah.
On that note, on that whole South Soul thing, I remember, I think the first album I bought by Skyy was probably your second album. That's the one that had Skyzoo on it, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't ask us. We don't.
Yeah. Anyway,
No, tell me what the cover looked like, and I can tell you.
it was the light blue cover.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
That was Skyway.
Austin has them all.
Skyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Right
Yep,
there.
the one in the middle,
Skyway.
Skyway.
Yeah. But I remember pulling out the record and seeing the South Soul label and going, this is weird. Because in my mind, South Soul was always that Philly sound, disco, Latin thing, which is cool. I loved
Right.
it.
Yes.
But this wasn't what I expected to hear. And I guess my question is, how did you guys get on South Soul?
Randy and Saul, you know, they recorded our entire album prior to with their own monies,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And then they started shopping it around to different labels.
Right.
All the labels that they went to had one or another problem. Oh, we want the girls, we don't want the band.
Right.
We want the band,
Yeah.
we don't want the girls. You know what I'm saying? There was
Right.
Everybody had their own, I guess, vision of who they wanted to bring into their next available slot.
Right.
And the thing that I love about South Soul, because they not only signed us, but they also signed a group, Aura.
Absolutely. Starlene and Young.
So
Yeah.
toward the end of, so they were originally best known for Joe Bataan, our dude, our,
That's
you know,
right.
I love
Yeah,
our
with Joe,
dude,
yeah.
South Soul
So
Orchestra,
Right.
Lolita Holloway, all
Double
of their
exposure,
Double Exposure,
First choice,
Carol Williams,
Carol
all their
Williams,
Eddie
artists. Yes,
Yes.
their artists were disco artists.
Right.
But the Carey brothers, I have to give them a lot of credit for seeing how that our music could fit into
right
their
into it.
model
Right.
and the type of music that they felt they could sell. Because if you notice, even in the Unsung, Ken said the reason why they got out of the business when hip hop came because they didn't know how to market that kind of music and they
Okay.
didn't know how to sell it. That wasn't their forte.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that that made me kind of reverse think and say, well, wait a minute. So that means they must have seen something in the style of music that we were
Right.
putting out there because we were funk.
Right.
We were cusp of disco in '79
Right, that's
because we
right.
had first time around on the first
That's
album,
right.
and by the time the second album came out, now we've got this very kind of different sound. We call it Brooklyn funk,
Right.
Because it's not like the funk from the other Minneapolis and everywhere else, you know.
Right.
But South Soul was perceptive enough to say, wait a minute, I think we could do something with this.
Right.
You know what I mean in terms of marketing and promotion. And when they got their distribution deal with RCA. That's
That
what
made-
That's what
expanded.
that's what
and
sent it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really
Right.
sent all of the artists on that label
Skyy.
to sort of the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I know you mentioned Aura.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like in that moment you could see the label taking that turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
With you guys
Yep.
and them.
Yes.
Um,
Because we were the last two signed actually to South Soul before they demised.
Right, like what was it, about 85,
Yeah.
86, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And then you guys went to Capitol.
We went to Capitol
Yeah.
for one quick one. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
quickie.
Quick one, yeah.
And then
Okay.
Right, that was Inner City, I believe.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, in and out, and that was one of the best vocal albums that we did. And just unfortunately, had great songs on it. Just unfortunately, the promotion
Right.
was not, as well as what we received from South Soul and RCA. But you listen to that album, there's the music on
Really
that
good
album.
stuff on there, yeah.
It's really good. Good music on that
Right,
album. But
right.
it's like you said, they opened the door and then closed it. You know.
Stuff, happens all the
but you
time.
never know what's going on
Yeah,
in the
right.
background with
That-
record
that's-
labels.
Sure.
Never.
If they get a change at the head, right?
That's
right.
If a new CEO or a new anybody, just
Anybody.
any C-suite person new comes in,
That's it.
the direction of everything is changing.
It just
You know
goes
what I
to the
mean?
wayside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where were most of your recordings done? Were they done in New York City or
Oh yeah,
Okay, they
studios in
were.
New York?
Blank Tape Studios,
Oh, yeah.
Quadrasonic
Lived at Blank
Studios,
Tape.
Right.
What was the little one guy used to call us his little chocolate chips? Tony Benanti, Charlie Benanti. Charlie Benanti's studio, right?
Yeah. We was his little chocolate chips.
And then we were in Ultrasound also out in Queens.
Wow. That was John Bradley.
Quad is in Manhattan. Quad is very well known, actually.
And we used the same engineer a lot.
Wow.
John Bradley.
John Bradley.
was our
He
first
is the one that taught us to settle ourselves.
That's right.
He said, all right now.
He's a
Ladies,
Enough of that.
ladies.
Enough of that.
Time is money.
And he
Very
just
nice.
knew
Nice guy.
how to engineer us.
Yes.
And you're still recording in studios, right? What studios? Where are you at now recording?
Oh, you know what? It's
Those
funny.
club music you're doing,
It's the basement in Austin in my house.
Really?
Well, we have a fantastic engineer.
Yeah.
Eli
Eli
Tubo.
Tubo.
Shout out to Eli. He was at the event last night. He
did
was
the
trying to
sound for us
mitigate
last
that
night.
sound issue that was going on. But Eli has that portable
Was
stuff.
that the gentleman who was on stage with you?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yeah, and Eli can set up pretty much anywhere. But the last recording that we did when we did Love at First Sight,
It's in the basement.
we did it in the base. We did that in the basement.
Very good. Yeah.
And he's like Denise
Eli
said,
at
he
the
has
helm.
that portable stuff, and he can stay at that stuff and at his equipment and just do what
He's
you
the
would
one
do.
that helped put the whole show together in terms of.
Oh yeah, the
music
show
and the
that you
melody.
guys heard last night.
We sat
He's
together
the guy
on
that
Zoom and said, okay, we'll stop
This
it here.
is
We'll
what
put
we
a
need.
this here. We'll
Because
put a
even
whole
though we're
list.
doing a track show, we wanted to still have a
It
live
sounds good.
feel.
Sure.
Yeah, we
Sounds
wanted
sure.
to have
You know what
that
I mean?
live feel.
And that was Austin working at board too, wasn't he? He was up there working there, wasn't
Austin just make sure them
He
tracks
presses
is-
the button.
he? Yeah. You're doing your thing now.
Sound was another difference.
Press the button, Austin.
Round of applause for Austin, ladies and gentlemen. You do it. Does a great job, you know? Keeping that sound going for you guys. It was nonstop. It was flawless. And it was a great show, a great
and
performance.
If he thinks I'm going to miss that, 2, 3,
He's
4.
on it.
I heard him counting last night. I was like, what?
Yep. Behind the scenes, that's good. So, ladies, why don't you tell us the inspiration behind the song Call Me? Give me a number and a dime. Call me
That was
anytime.
Randy's.
Tell us about it.
Randy.
Randy is the guy that came up with that song. So, and I found this out myself on Unsung.
Okay.
I didn't know where this stuff comes from. Out of the minds of Randy Miller and Solomon Roberts. So Randy said that he wanted to have something, and this is a typical Randy word, something with a little more cheese. That's Randy's expression. So they decided that he wanted to write something that was more soap opera-ish, and came up with the concept of Call Me. So we were like, Randy, really? You know, like we're waving the flag for this type of behavior.
Yeah, right.
We are not. But you know what? I've always, as I listen to it and I see how it's received by people, it's taken tongue in cheek, and people just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very few
And-
people take it as seriously. I mean, and the whole concept of, you know, your girlfriend is my friend. Here's my number and a dime. She just saying, call me.
That's right.
She's not saying anything other than
I
having a
tell you, I
conversation.
Right about that. Isn't that something?
all.
That's right.
I just said call me. That's it.
That's right.
She was wrong. Call me if you need it.
I didn't put anything else on that paper. Right. That you
I was getting ready to say that. I said that number you wrote on a scrap of paper. Well, how many people called that number on that scrap of paper that was in the video?
You know what? I think it was the South Soul
South Soul,
office.
like
yeah.
So they would have been very happy if anybody would have called it. Go, knock your socks off. You know what I mean?
Call away.
So, that's funny.
Yo,
Tell us about your TV appearances, ladies. You were on Soul Train. You were on American Bandstand.
On
I
Solid
wasn't
Gold.
on American.
You were on American Bandstand?
No.
Soul Train.
she was busy having her
Solid Gold?
I was busy having my
No, she
daughter.
wasn't on
Okay.
Solid Gold either.
No, I
Okay.
didn't make it to Solid Gold.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
We weren't.
What shows were you on? What television shows were you on?
We
So
were
she was
on,
you was on American.
You did do Soul Train, didn't you?
on
wasn't.
American.
I
No, she wasn't on
Because
American.
Dick
Best.
Clark was the only one that realized that Dot was not one of the sisters. And
Okay.
I was watching it on TV. I'm like, oh my God, my sister.
We were on American Bandstand, Solid Gold, Merv Griffin.
Merv
Oh,
Griffin,
yeah.
That was like
We've even
that
done
was
Joe
big shot.
Franklin's Memory Lane.
Joe Franklin.
Long time ago.
Channel 9.
Yeah. You on that too? Whoa.
Julian is like, who?
History lesson today. I love it.
Yeah, we have been
remember Merv
Soap
Griffin, that was
Factory.
fun.
We
Soap Factory.
did Soap Factory. We were on all
lot
of
of special
those
things.
disco, kind of shows.
But you
back
know, at
then.
that Soul Train appearance, we were more excited to see the dancers than to personally ourselves be on the show. It was like, come on, we've been watching this thing since we were, younger, right? And it was such a, a iconic show. So we
be
got
on it
there and
twice,
we're like,
it's
we're looking
amazing.
for all the dances that we, and they were just so nice to us.
Yeah.
What was it like being in that studio though? It was so historic
what
and
that
legendary.
is? I think it's.
that's right.
I'm going to tell you, for me, going on Soul Train was the ultimate, but American Bandstand, and I'm going to tell you why American Bandstand, because we were little when American Bandstand. We used to sit with our mom and dad and watch
Real
American
little.
Bandstand.
Yeah, just by reason of it being
You see
on
what I'm saying?
way long. It was
Right.
it was the blueprint for that type of a show.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because then there was hullabaloo after
Oh,
that.
yeah, right. So to actually go on American Bandstand and meet Dick Clark and say to yourself, I remember sitting in at 5, 6, 7 years old, watching American Bandstand and do the stroll at the end, and
Oh, my
here we
goodness.
are,
Yeah.
just stroll.
Oh, this my mother had them, birthed them, because I forgot about the stroll.
And to
I just had a
actually
flashback.
be on a TV show that you used to sit at a young age and watch, and never in a million years would really think that you would,
Ever be on
And we
that?
Ever
did,
be on
we did Showtime at the Apollo.
Wow.
And
You
we-
on a lot of
That's
shows.
And we
Wow.
did
Fantastic.
the Apollo. I think we were there twice. or
And
since
that's
that day.
another thing. The Apollo.
the Apollo, that
You
was
go.
like-
If you
Tell us
are-
about that experience.
If
That had to be
you are
different.
a New
Yeah.
Yorker, you want to go to Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
We did that.
You want to go to the Apollo, and you want to go to Radio City.
Wow.
I didn't do that.
And we've covered all three,
And we've
except
covered
for
all
you.
three.
Except for me.
You were there.
Right.
I was there. Yeah, no, I was there. I had
But those
I
are-
just had my daughter 10 days before that, and they got me tickets in the second row. And the drummer walked past me. He didn't even recognize me. Said, I've been gone that long? Like, for real?
But those are the venues when you are an artist that the Apollo to have
Oh,
your
yeah.
picture get placed on that hallway, and it's just like with going to DC playing it's nothing, which is no longer there.
Cap Center.
Capitol Center. Everybody wanted to go to
Right.
Cap Center.
Yeah, Cap Center.
You know what I'm saying? So to actually be able to have a career where you can say, I've done this, it's fantastic.
Let me ask you this. How did the experience differ of hearing yourselves on the radio for the first time compared to actually seeing yourselves on TV for the first time? So those
my
are two
goodness.
just
So the
major-
radio, I think I pulled the car over. I was driving my red and black 69 Impala, Chevy Impala, and WBLS was playing, I think, Here's to You.
Yeah.
I think it was Here's to
Good
You.
song.
And I just pulled over. I'm like, people, it's me. Yay! That's me. Oh my goodness. But wait a minute. I do the same thing now. Where were we, Austin? They were playing our music. We got in the car the other day.
107.9.
Right. Was playing.
So,
Okay.
we just got finished doing We Don't Need No Music. We're in the car on the way home.
Right.
They're
Last
playing
night,
We
yeah.
Don't Need, out of all the Skyy songs, they're
Right.
playing We Don't Need No Music. Skyzoo.
Last night, right, babe?
Last night.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is just I still get very excited.
My
I can't get
shit.
my phone ready fast enough to do a little, Facebook Live or something because it's just nice to know that you're still
Relevant.
people
To a certain extent. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not jaded by everything. There's so many
No.
artists I feel like, have been, you guys made out unscathed.
Oh,
It still gives you the ability to appreciate it and still love it as a
we
sound.
have
Absolutely.
put what we do in a space in our lives. Our lives are so multifaceted.
Right.
She's got a son, 2 granddaughters. She's got a brand new husband.
10,000.
Congratulations.
Yes. She's got a daughter, a granddaughter, and a great grandson.
Yes,
I am the auntie whose purse, all wonderful things spring from my purse. Okay, so we have these other lives, that we are the focus of and the thing we try to work together to make sure we're successful at, and the music is the thing we love.
Right.
And when we get a chance to do it,
We do it.
we just do it. And if we don't get a chance to do it, we're good with that too.
Right,
you know?
right.
But there's no pressure on us to gig, to tour. I mean, I understand for a lot of artists, this is their
That's
bread
their
and
life.
butter.
Right.
Right.
So-
And we're fortunate that it's not our bread and butter.
Right.
And because my mother always said, know how to type. She said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. She said, and always have a skill. So we were fortunate in that respect that even when we were on the road, we'd come and go to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We just came out of that. You know, I tell people that all the time. You know, like Denise said, when you talk about your voice, I mean, who knows what might happen 10 years from now where you can't sing. Fortunately, do we make money from gigging? We do. But we do love what we do, but we don't have to depend on it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So is that some advice you would give the young people that are trying to get into business today?
Find something to do.
Wholehearted.
No, seriously, because you can't depend on just this being
That's right.
what you are and your livelihood.
Right.
Like my daughter has this thing. She's been in the daycare field for 20 years, but now she's like, I'm tired of doing this. She's doing her crafts. I mean, now she's sending me embroidery stuff. We're gonna be embroidering.
She's selling jewelry.
Yeah, she's
you know,
selling jewelry.
you have to have-
She wants to do
you have
something
to
else
have-
because she was never an office kind of person. She wanted to be on a different place altogether. So young people now, if you're coming up and you think that this is going to be your whole life and you're gonna sing forever and ever and ever
That's
and ever,
right.
that's not
right.
gonna happen.
You're gonna knock
need to-
Beyonce out the box.
Right.
Ain't gonna
That's
happen.
not-
You need
know what I'm
to
saying?
know
Those
how
people
to
have
do
built those careers,
something
and that is
else.
dedication. That is
Yeah.
their life.
Pay into
Eat,
the system.
sleep, and and breathe
That's right.
that music. And there's some people that have that passion, and we say, more power to you, but make sure, this is my biggest thing, make sure you understand the business. Now
That's
you
right.
get a chance to be independent artists.
Yes.
We had to learn what it means to be independent artists, which means you're not assigned to a record label, right? So now actually, every department that you have within a record label, we have within our
That's
team.
right.
Sure. Sure.
That's right.
Our own marketing people, videographers,
That's right.
engineers, all of that
That's
stuff.
right.
We
All in-house.
have those people,
And-
and it's a joy for us because we
like the
love
people.
bringing on people who know what they're doing.
That's
we do
right.
what we do, but when
If
we
it
bring
wasn't
them
like-
on, they're
that's
bringing us
right.
the best of the best in
Right.
terms of what they
Yeah.
have to
I say
offer.
that to people all the time. I said, we have a hand-picked team, and I am telling you, if we did not have them, could we run? Sure. But I always say, that's not my department. I pass
There's a
that on to
representative
them.
over there.
There's a representative over there, and she's right. We are a company within ourselves now. And so, and she said, when it comes to coming up these young folk, you better know the business. B, you better have another skill. Because
That's right.
and so that when
Something
it comes
else to
time
do.
for retirement, you can knock on the door of Social Security and sit back.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
if you don't work with that, if you never had a 9 to 5,
better
of some
have that. You
sort
better have
that
something.
that will give you a backup
That's right. You got to have that backup.
for your retirement plan,
Yeah.
Social Security,
That's right.
and some kind of money
Young
to have.
people don't think they're going to
die.
old.
No,
Yeah, that's something.
Stay tuned.
You know what? When I was young, it never occurred to me either. So I'm not speaking from a place of not having
Experiencing
been
it.
there.
Right.
But I think we are in a space in our lives where we're saying we having a good time doing what we're
That's
doing.
right.
We're very happy that we have good health because there's
Yeah.
all kinds of things that can sideline your situation,
Sure.
the track that you're trying to take,
Sure.
you know? But yeah.
It sneaks up on you, though.
Say it
Tell me
again,
about
Tim.
it.
Say it again.
Yeah, look in the mirror and say,
I'm like, wow.
1 minute, one knee is hurting, and the next day, both of them is hurting. You know what I'm saying? Now
Unfortunately,
your
yes.
shoulders hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? That elbow, you be like, you know what?
Okay. That's awesome. I heard you mention the young people. Who are some of the young artists that are out there today that you ladies, I guess like
young.
Oh my
Bruno
goodness.
Mars. That's it.
Bruno Mars? That's it? Only
That's
one?
it.
But you know what? In terms of Well, Niecy likes her.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, and there's this guy.
Yeah, I'm Bruno Mars. I'm a fan
London.
of Bruno Mars.
Right.
Oh, that
October London?
Yes.
October
And
London.
I kind of, I like.
You sound like Marvin Gaye. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
That's a good
October
artist.
London, but when it comes to most, I am not. When it comes to listen to radio, I'm not a. We listen, I listen in the car, but I'm not a radio listener. If it is, it's 88.3. I don't want to listen to anything but the oldies. You know what
The
I'm
classics,
saying?
yeah.
The classics. That's what I listen to. The classics.
And
I like money. I like Money Long though. There are, believe it or not, there are some
There are
really
some, yeah.
I'm
great,
sure.
and because I've kind of switched over and started listening to Spotify and Soul Tracks. Has a station on there, and I've been getting a lot of new influences and new music from younger artists that I'm like, wait a minute, there are really some good R&B younger artists out there. Everybody's not, booty popping, shaking, and all that stuff. You
There's
know
some
what I
people
mean?
that really know what
Some
they're
people
doing.
have something to
Some
say
substance
in a
to
positive way. Yeah,
to their music.
I'm trying to seek that out just for my personal enjoyment.
Because it takes more digging as opposed to being in
Yes.
the forefront nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes.
right.
Where as it used to be.
Well, if you recall, even back in the day, there was always that music, every once in a while, some really good cuts would make the radio. But how often did we buy the album so we could get that record that
we
wasn't
bought- we
played on the
That's
radio?
right.
That's
So it's
right.
really the same kind of thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But we
Except
bought-
now, they're in terms of distribution, you can get the singles because they got the
Just the single.
downloads.
Right. So
You
you
see,
can-
back then, you know what I'm
You
saying?
had to
Either
buy
you
that
got the album or you got that A single,
Right.
and prayed the one you liked was on the B side,
Right.
right?
Right.
But
If
then
you
you-
were just going to
Right.
do that, but now you can stream, you can choose,
Exactly.
Instantaneous,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can put
yeah,
things
you
out.
can
Direct
pick and
to consumer.
choose the things that
Exactly.
you want, right?
And if we think about how many songs did we hear back in the day that somebody said, "Hey, listen to this." Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When you got an album,
Yeah.
when you bought the album, you wind it up on that B side. There were a lot of
Hidden gems.
hidden gems on that were better than what was on the A side
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah. So I guess it just means that we can't always go by like
That's right,
what's
the
what's on
mainstream. That's exactly
being played right at the top of the charts.
Yeah.
Yep, there were different times then, right?
Yeah, different times.
So, speaking of the music, where can folks get your music?
Oh my goodness.
You got new stuff out there now?
Yeah, well, you know what? What a bunch of interesting stuff we got going. It's very funny. So BMG Records bought the South Soul catalog
Correct,
and
yes.
owns the South Soul catalog. And shout out to BMG because we've developed a really good relationship with them with the re-release of what they call their Disco Essentials series. So that was Joe Bataan,
Okay.
First Choice,
Double Exposure, Instant Funk.
South Soul Orchestra, Instant Funk.
Yeah.
And I got my mind beat
Beat
up.
up. Come on. You get it.
Get it, girl.
Say what?
Anytime.
Tonight is fine.
Yes. So Skyline was released January of 2023. And
Purple vinyl.
we're just these are all collector's items. So purple vinyl, right? Remastered and all that good stuff. And I thought that was just a brilliant and smart thing for them to do because they said, we have these gems. Once again, a new, younger marketing team, Julian, starting to say, what do we got? What do we own? Wait, what? What is this? I've never heard this before. So they're re-releasing all of this stuff. And so we've been kind of riding on that little bit of a wave in terms of popularity because if you're relevant enough to get re-released for the record company to spend that money, to re-print
Right.
albums, that has to be, have a level of importance and significance. We're going to be working on also some music with a French production team. The French
French funk.
Oh yeah.
Funketeers.
Oh yeah.
The French.
They are funketeers, man. I'm telling you.
Yes.
They
So
love funk.
We went into France last year in May, and when I tell you, it was sold out,
pandemonium.
pandemonium.
The place was
France, UK, I heard.
They are just,
Well,
big
France, they bring 2
bags
of the
albums.
albums.
Wow.
Every album that they've ever
ever
bought.
owned.
From when did they buy Skyline in '82?
Right.
They have it.
and they want us to autograph it. And of course, we
Every
take the
album.
time to do it. It's not a
That's a
problem.
beautiful thing.
But anyway, we're going to be working with another French musician by the name of Buteme. I'm going to say it right. Philippe Magoo.
Okay.
Cool.
Magoo is writing for us. He was our musical director actually when we, as Ladies of Skyy, performed in France.
The first time.
2012, I think it was. But the connection, see, this the thing that I love is no matter how long ago it was, these guys still stay in touch
And
with
it's
us.
crazy. When we went that first time, they sent us a list of the songs that they wanted us to do.
Oh, right.
Some things that we had never even done. So that means, okay, now we got to do choreography.
Well, we
to this
recorded, but we never performed them live. So back to your point,
So
the
that-
B cuts,
Right.
right? We had to relearn.
And we were like, what?
What were the lyrics to that song?
Right. And did we have choreography? No, because we
No.
never did it on stage. But it was funny because nobody in the band spoke English, and Magoo's English was really not that good.
Nobody
but
spoke
they're-
English.
No,
they're
Magoo was
playing-
pretty good.
They're
Magoo was
playing
good.
everything
Yes.
that they sent us.
That bass
Don't know a
player
word of
started,
English. Like, okay.
let's celebrate like it was Gerald. We had to keep looking. No, that's not Gerald.
He's French, but it's not Gerald.
Yeah, right. That's right, because Gerald's
Gerald's
Haitian.
French.
But yeah, they
That was
they're
amazingly
amazing.
different.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I really appreciate you taking the time to come to the studio here today to join us on the R&B Showcase radio and television show. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you too.
Dolores,
Yes.
Bonnie, and Denise, the legendary Ladies of Skyy. Let's give a nice round of applause to the ladies.
Thank you.
And of course,
so much fun.
Of course, you got your Skyzoo over there, gentlemen.
All right, let's get
play
one.
that Skyzoo. There you go.
What you wanna do?
Play my Skyzoo.
Hey, yes, ladies, yes, awesome. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you being on the show, and of course, I want to thank your manager over there, hiding back over there, Austin. Man, thanks for being.
I'm so happy for you guys.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much. And the gentleman with the New York was that Yankees hat on there?
That's my husband.
Oh, okay. All right.
Lined up somewhere.
All right. I was gonna wear my Eagle stuff, but I said, nah, I'm gonna hold off on that. He said- That's all good though. But thank you for coming and joining us here
no
live
problem.
in the studio.
Thanks, Tim.
And I want to thank, of course, Ladies of Skyy. Thank you again, Ladies of Skyy.
Yes, thank you. It's our joy, Tim. Thank you so much. We are so happy to be here with you guys here.
Thank you.
And we coming back, okay?
I appreciate
we
that.
want to come back.
Can we send a shout out to Dee Wellman though? I met you ladies through the
yeah.
Gemma Foundation, Global Entertainment Media Foundation, of course,
How
the
is she
Golden Mike
doing?
Awards. I was in touch with her a while ago. She's doing good. She's getting ready to start some things back up. So that
Oh,
sounds
that's
good to me.
Because
You know,
Niecy kept on Niecy had to keep on reminding me where we met you.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she said that, I said, oh, yeah. Because that thing could have really.
The Gemma Award.
That-
yeah,
they
Gemma
put a
Awards.
real
Yeah,
lady-
we did two. I think I did two. I hosted
Yes,
two of
you
those
did,
shows.
yeah, that thing you
I
did,
you ladies were on both of them. I believe.
Yes,
those
we
shows.
were. Yes,
And we had the
got
luncheon
awards
in
one year,
Delaware.
and we were ambassadors the second year.
second year.
And I'm still an ambassador for her because that was an amazing organization. You know, we need more organizations that are going to honor the classic artists. You know what I mean?
No question, no doubt about it. You know,
Yeah.
and also Vanessa from
Jordan.
the
Vanessa,
that's Jordan from the
yeah.
organization. Thank you, Vanessa.
Yes.
You know, and Stewart. Yeah. All right. But anyway, we're going to thank you for coming down, ladies. And of course, I want to thank my co-host, Julian Seward.
Always a
Thank you,
pleasure. This is me.
Julian.
Julian.
Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure.
Julian.
And of
Julian
course-
got his little notes over there to look up, you know.
Ready to go. Julian's
Important
ready.
information.
He's on it. You know, he's
Phone numbers.
Yes, indeed. And a dime. We need more. Like you need $1 a day, right? To make a phone call.
Very funny.
And of course, Kevin White,
Kevin.
our
Oh,
co-host.
thank you so
Thanks
much
for
fun.
being
Thanks
here,
for
brother.
coming.
No question about it. My name is Tim Marshall, and thank you for joining us for R&B Showcase Live.